I want you guys please to give a round of applause to Mr. Billy Selekane. Okay.
Now, if we can get some light because you wouldn't see me. But the thing is, I'd have to smile as much more than I speak so that you guys could see me. But anyway, thanks, like they said, let there be light, and light came. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Now, I want to make sure I'm speaking to the right kind of people. How many of you here are entrepreneurs? Cool. How many of you here are professionals? Cool. How many of you here are not too sure who they are? Lovely. Now, before I share with you my message, I'm going to give you what I call the 3 waves that are hitting the world as far as change is concerned. Because today it's not like yesterday, and tomorrow is not going to be like today. So things are changing so fast that some of you, the business that you think of starting, they are dead before they even begin. But you just don't know it. Okay? And some of you, which is sad, your businesses will die before it even starts because you're not understanding what the change is happening in the world. Now, a couple of years ago, there was this concept about the world is borderless, that there are no borders in the world. Remember, internet got us to connect with people. But however, there was still a barrier in creating that global connection. And the barrier was the language. Even though internet was open, you could Google things, you couldn't speak to a guy in Japan unless you understood Japanese. You could not speak to a Chinese guy unless you understood Chinese. Now, what happened is, there's a technology that has just been launched. How many of you have a Skype account? Actually, Skype launched it a couple of days ago, if not a couple of weeks ago. Now, this technology is putting a massive spin into the world. It is changing the world from being a borderless world to becoming a one global village. Because in a village, everybody speaks the same language. Everybody understands it, okay? Understand each other. Now, this software that has been launched is what's called the Instant Translator. So what it means you can get a friend in Mexico or in Japan. They can speak in Japanese, and you can speak in your own language. You'll understand each other instantly. No longer will translation take time. So if your father or your cousin or your uncle is a translator in the court, tell them to go and look for another job. or upskill themselves, because this thing of translators is gone, it's finished. They are literally out of business. But the beautiful thing about it, because of that, we're tapping into something magical. That I'm a rebel, I'm the guy when everybody swims this way, I swim backwards, that's who I am. That's who I've been. I'm never going to stop being a rebel. So I've always had a bit of a disagreement with how education gets given and gets taught. Because I believe that each and every one of us have what's called native intelligence. So you're intelligent in your own nativity. So what nationality are you, say? Umsutu. So unalumhlale baseSotho. You understand? So if you have to be taught something in English, you have to translate that thing in Sotho in your head. And when you answer that person, you've got to translate it back from Sotho to English and then tell it. And most of the time, there's a thing called lost in translation that happens. We get lost as we try to interpret, because it's not only the subject matter that's difficult, it is the language. Now that is gone. So it means that a young boy from Lesotho, from the Free State, can be taught the Pythagoras theorem in Sotho. And they'll understand it because they've got this native intelligence. So that is a massive change. So what it says, your business or whatever idea that you have has got a much better chance than it had 6 months ago, because then you had to think it in Sotho and think, you understand? And but it's very tricky. You miss a comma, or you put a comma in the wrong place, it gives a complete different meaning. You know what I'm trying to say? So that in itself has become a game changer, because now we can do business in our own nativity. So I don't need, and South Africans were funny. We used to laugh at soccer players about interviewer. What Dr. Komolar, we used to. But Lionel Messi doesn't speak English. Lionel Messi speaks his language. He speaks Latin in America. That's what he does. Bastian Schweinsteiger speaks Germany because he's intelligent in his own nativity in German. If he has to translate what he wanted to say from German to English, we would laugh at him. And Japanese don't speak English, they speak Japanese. So everything they create in Japanese, and it gets translated into English, not the other way around. So that's the first massive change that is happening. And that says that the borders are not only open, they're completely broken down. The barriers to learn are no longer there, which is a beautiful thing. So you can now take the best science teacher, the best maths teacher from anywhere in the world, you can get them live on the internet, and kids who are listening can hear in their own language instantly, and therefore understanding becomes much more higher, and people are able to learn. So that's the first thing. The second change that is happening is the speed of uncertainty, the speed at which things are uncertain. Okay, I'm going to be slow here because I want us to get each other. Now change, when it happens, we're not sure what's going to happen, okay? But now that has quadrupled and quadrupled and quadrupled and quadrupled. So the speed of change has become so crazy we just don't understand what's happening. Now one of the things in this uncertain world that we're living in is the rise of AI. AI means artificial intelligence. Now artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen, has reached a level that is just absolutely amazing. Now Samsung, the latest Samsung something, I don't know which Samsung. Who has ever experienced this latest Samsung telephone? Now, I don't know, S something. But the beauty about this thing is if you're watching a video on that phone and you fall asleep, the video pauses. Yes, have you experienced it? It's fascinating. When you're reading a document on that phone, as your eyes go to the end of the document, it pages for you. Because it picks up. And instead of, when you do this, the pages of whatever you're reading, they open up. So it's fascinating. So that's artificial intelligence. Now it has gone even one step further, or many, many steps further. We're getting into a place called augmented humanity. Now augmented humanity means we're going to have human beings that are 65 human and 35% machine. Oscar Pretorius is one of them. Yes, he's 65% human, 35% machine, because his feet are blades. Now think about it. Now they're saying this technology is going to make blind people be able to see. So blind people are going to be able to see because of this technology. Now ask yourself this one question. McDonald's, as we see it now, you've got people working Molagere who are selling you burgers. And sometimes batlam or banal matata and they don't greet you nicely, you know, kind of thing. You know, it's not like this, oh, well, you know what I'm talking about. But now they're saying that in the US, in the next 3 to 4 years, almost 65 to 70% of McDonald's will be automated. It will be a machine because, I mean, a burger is a burger and a burger is a burger, you know. So you're going to go in at the drive-in and say, that burger with chips or whatever, you go to the next one, a robot is going to give you the burger and the chips, and a robot can't be angry, a robot can't go on strike, you know, a robot can't come to work, you know, a robot will always deliver what a robot needs to deliver. So, again, all the things that we think are going to be our business, speed of light, they are gone, they are history, they change. Actually, there are some jobs. In 2014, the top 10 paying jobs in 2014 did not exist in 2010. How many of you are studying here? What are you studying, sir? Yes. Economics and IT. What year are you? First, second, third year? Yeah? What you have learned on your first year, it's now obsolete. It's not applicable anymore. That's the speed we're talking about. But the third change, which is very exciting, is what we call the rise of Africa 3.0. Now that is the magic. That's what you guys must start thinking about. What it means Africa is the greatest or the new frontier for technology. Because we're new in the technology space. Now Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook and Elon Musk and all these guys, they're going to send satellite into Africa to give us internet directly to our phone. At the moment, we don't get internet directly to our phone. It goes through Vodacom, it goes through servers and all these kind of things. So the chain is very long. That's why it's expensive to go online in this country. That is changing like that. So you're going to get directly from Facebook into your phone. You don't need to go through any service provider anymore. It's going to be happening in the next 6 months. They are launching this technology. Now what it means if your business is not online, you don't have a business. Yeah. If you are not online, you are dead. What's your name, sir? Orandani. Wamsanda. Wamsanda. No. So Wamsanda, if I cannot find you on Google, you don't exist. You understand? It's as simple as that. So if I say, give me your name and I go on Google and I check you out, you don't exist, you're dead. You're finished. Nobody cares about you. Nobody knows you. Now here's the deal about this technology, because if you abuse it, it will come and bite you. Now all of you've got Facebook, isn't it? And you people put strange things on Facebook. I'm eating breakfast. Who cares what you're eating? So if you want to start a business, or you're in a good business now, or you're in business, you've got to ask these 5 questions, or these 5 principles of your business. The first one, okay, the principles are called the 5 P's to success in a changing world. The 5 P's to success in business in a changing world. The first P speaks about purpose. If this seminar did not have a purpose, no, an original intent, you could not have woken up where you woke up and came here, wouldn't you? So purpose becomes the guiding principle through which everything is measured and everything is perceived. And I'll give an example. When people come to me and they say, Mr. Selekane, I want to start a business, I always ask them this question, why do you want to start this business? And they keep quiet, they don't know. So, purpose answers the question why. Why do you want to do what you want to do? And if you cannot answer the question why, go and do tenders, it's much easier. You know, because guys with tenders, they've got, all their companies are enterprises, 172 Pty Ltd. They do stationery, construction, catering, events, private ambulances. The only thing they don't do is transplants. They're going to get there very soon, I think. So the word purpose speaks about original intent. So each and every business, and I can tell all great businesses in the world, were started by somebody who asked themselves the question, why? Why am I doing this? And what is it that I can do to respond to society's needs? Because if your business does not respond to a need in society, it's not worth having. If you're going to, you know, profit is a very beautiful thing. But if profit is your only motive, sell drugs. It's easier to make lots and lots of, but there are consequences to that, you know. So be willing to take the consequence of selling drugs because they're going to haul you to jail, you know. But if people want to do business for the sake of money, I say to them, you're wasting your time, because money is a fascinating thing, because great and big money follows purpose. It's as simple as that. Small money, anybody can take. But I'm talking massive amounts of money follows purpose. Now, let's ask a few examples of people and businesses that have fulfilled this one principle of purpose. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey, because I know she's your favorite. Oprah Winfrey. Ah, listen to her. She says, who's that? Skajala Oprah mo nama. Don't eat Oprah jealous. Now, what is Oprah's business? Let me ask you this question. What is her business? Huh? You don't know what Oprah's business is? He says talking. Anybody else? It's a product, it's not a business. What is Oprah's core business? Oprah's core business is to connect people with challenges to solutions. That's her core business. The Oprah Winfrey Show seeks to create a process and a place where people with challenges can find those that have got the ability to give them solutions. That's her business. And that is her purpose. And do you guys know that the Oprah Winfrey Show, before it became a national show in America, it was in Chicago for 16 years. So if you lived in New York City, you did not have a clue who Oprah was. And then it's syndicated in America, and then it's syndicated in the world, and she became a certified billionaire. Oprah, when she started, she did not say, I want to become a billionaire. She said, I wanted to create a platform where those that seek help can be connected to those that can give them solutions. And by so doing, I'll be a catalyst to a better society. That's what she wanted to do. And it happened. Let's talk about the guys who started WhatsApp. Now that's a beautiful story. These guys went to Facebook and looked for a job at Facebook. They sent in their CV, Facebook said, hey, your skill level is not at the level that we wanted at Facebook. And they went away from a garage. They started a message service, and there, starting this message service, they said, we want to create a platform that could connect people easy and without hassles. And people can talk anywhere in the world without spending lots of money. That's what they wanted to do, and that's what they did. And within 5 years, this WhatsApp had over 650 million people around the world speaking. Guess what? Facebook said, we want that business. They paid $19 billion for it. Those guys who started Facebook didn't say we want to become billionaires. They said we wanted to create a solution that can create connections easy with no hassles. And the consequence became, they became billionaires. Steve Jobs, he did the same thing. He said, computing is boring. How do I create a computer system that can be customized and that can be smart, that can relate to people? And he started Apple. He didn't say I want to become a billionaire, and then started Apple, then became a billionaire. No. So original intent or purpose becomes the cornerstone of every great business. Now, when I said how many of you are in business, you raised your hands. What business are you in, sir? Komsana? A foundation. So you became a millionaire and now you have a foundation that splashes your money. You know, another thing that I find fun with people. Everybody wants to start a business to give back to society. You can't give back what you don't have. You understand what I'm saying? A blind person can't help another blind person cross the street. You'll be hit by a car, both of you. Okay, who else is in business here, guys? Somebody. Yes, ma'am. What business are you in? Decor and catering. Why are you in decor and catering?
First of all, I know how to cook.
Everybody knows how to cook. Yes? So if you know how to cook, then you decided I'm going to do decor.
People, you know, I love organizing events. People do not have time. You know, organizing events like require time and so many things, you know, and people do not have time to do that.
Okay. So your business, you take away the hustles and bustles and...
Take away the hustles and then leave.
Cool. So that's great. Who else has got a business here? Come, a different business. You guys raise hands. A lot of you raised hands that you're in business. Now you're afraid. Eh? Or Labatwadi tender. Are you folks tender people? Eh? You tender people? Ah, man, that's unsustainable. Okay, so the first thing is whatever business that you have, ask yourself this one question. What purpose is your business serving? What is the purpose of your business? What is the why? Because without the why, my friend, the first obstacle that you hit, you're going to be not in catering anymore, you're going to be in a different business. And then you hit another obstacle, then you're in a different business. Then that's why we've got people that have moved from one business to the other, and they will never ever become successful because the purpose that they started that business is not authentic and it's not true. They did it because out of lust. You know this thing called lust? Your eyes, when they see somebody doing something, you think, I can do this thing. Unfortunately, that's what happened. If you look at our society in the townships, you remember there was a Vodacom cell phones. Every corner had a Vodacom cell phone. Now there's chicken dust. Every corner is chicken dust. And it's going to change. So people are not authentic and creative. They look at what other people are doing in the hope that they can replicate that and become successful. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So your business, you got to look at the first. What is the purpose of your business? Secondly, the second piece speaks about passion. You have to be passionate about what you do. Nothing great was ever achieved without no passion. But let me break passion for you. There's a study called etymology, the study of the origin of words. I study origin of words. I don't pick things up and agree with them. I always ask, why are people saying things this way? Now, the original word passion finds its origin in Greek. And in Greek, it's pashko, P-A-S-H-K-O, pashko. And what that means, it says the willingness to die for and the willingness to go through pain for. That's what the word passion means. So I ask people, are you passionate about your business? Say, I'm passionate. I'm saying, are you willing to die for your business? Brabin, what do you mean? I say, you're not passionate about your business. You're not passionate about your business. Are you passionate to feel the pain for your business? Now, you know, Nelson Mandela is the big example that we use, but it's a relevant example. Nelson Mandela, when he was arrested, he said, I have an ideal of a democratic society where people treat each other with respect, blah, 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 blah. He said, this is an ideal that I'm willing to fight for. However, if it is necessary, it is an ideal for which I'm prepared to die for. Voila. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's passion. And he proved it. For 27 years, he never changed. 27 years. He never changed. People fail in one business that they've started in 3 months. 3 months. And they start something else. They fail in the 2nd month and they start something else. They fail in the 6th month and they start something else. Most people are not willing to walk the road less traveled. And I say to people, ladies and gentlemen, business is tough. You know, I look at people, and you know, yes, let's get youth in businesses. But young people are young people, they are stupid. Some of them are not developed, their brains are not developed. And we say, these people are going to run businesses, we're making a big mistake. We'll give them money, we'll keep losing the money because, a young man gets his brain developed fully at the age of 28, 29 if you're lucky. Women get developed much more earlier, that's how the brain works. And we're saying, let's make young people entrepreneurs, but our educational system is bad. Universities can't produce what the market wants. Actually, most of them should be closed down, quite literally. Take this rocket propeller, shoot it, poof, explode the university. Take down the bricks, give them away for people to build houses. You know what I'm trying to say? Because, if you look at in South Africa, we've got how many? We've got over 800,000 unemployed graduates. They are not unemployed, they are unemployable. That's the difference. Because they don't have the necessary skills that the market needs. So how do I hire somebody who's got a degree, but can't do anything? All they show you is a piece of paper, I've got a degree. We want value, business wants value. We don't want you to show me a piece of paper. Actually, people that turn the world around don't even have the piece of paper. Guys like me and Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. We don't have the fancy piece of paper. However, because our businesses were started driven by purpose and we're passionate about what to do, we make a difference. So the first one, ask your business. Ask yourself in your business, is it driven by purpose? Number two, are you passionate about it? Number three, the third P, speaks about practice. Now there's a rule, ladies and gentlemen, it's called the 10,000 hour rule. It says anybody who's a master at what they do, they must have done it for more than 10,000 hours. The Williams sisters, Tiger Woods, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, you name all these guys, they've done the 10,000 hour rule. Rory McIlroy, you know Rory McIlroy, the golfer? When he was young, 3 years old, he used to watch Tiger Woods. And he'd practice when it was raining and there was a storm, he would go and practice golf because that was his passion, that's what he wanted to do. And he knew one profound truth, that until and unless you practice what you want to become good at, you're not going to become good at it, you're just going to become a mediocre. Now most of you think you're going to become successful in 2 years' time. I'm very sorry to tell you, it's not going to happen. And that's just the truth, you've got to accept the truth. But in that time it means you've got to create mastery in your life. You've got to be good at what you do. You've got to find people that have walked that path, and you've got to go to them, and you're going to have to ask them for help. Now, I'm going to ask you a question which I have an answer to. I'm going to write the answer, then ask you the question. I've got a pen here. Can I use this thing to write my answer? Okay? 5 minutes. Okay. There's my answer. I'm going to ask you a question, then you're going to give them that answer. Okay? Do you see what I've written? Now, how many of you in this room have a coach? Somebody who coaches you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is my answer there? Minus 10% to 0. Every room in this country that I go to and ask people this question, do you have a coach? The answer is less than 10% to nobody has a coach. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to make it without a coach. Tiger Woods has got more than 5. The Williams sisters have got more than 8. Nelson Mandela had more than 5. Name any prominent person, I'll tell you the number of coaches they have. And you think you can do this on your own, you're bluffing. It's not going to happen. Find a coach. And you know, a coach and a mentor are two different people. Find a coach that you will pay, because something that you pay for, you take seriously. The one that you don't pay for, you don't care about it. You know, that's why I mentor my peers. I mentor guys at my level. But anybody else I coach, and you have to qualify for me to coach you. I don't coach anybody. That's just reality. You come to me and say your business is 6 months. I say, see me if your business is 5 years. What am I going to do with you? 6 months in business, you're not in business yet. You're still learning what the business is all about. You don't even understand the business. So you've got to be the person that practices what you want to do. P number 4, the fourth P, speaks about positioning. They say I've got 5 minutes, I'm going to try and kill this in 5 minutes. The fourth P speaks about positioning. Now positioning, ladies and gentlemen, it's simply where you are found. Where are you found? Where do you position yourself? And I say to people, show me your friends, and I'll tell you how far in life you will go. Where do we find you? Do we find you at the tavern? Do we find you at the corner? Do we find you where people talk about other people, not about ideas? Where is your positioning? Because positioning speaks about brand. You're either a statistic or you're a brand. It's as simple as that. There's no middle ground. It's either just a number of people, because here's the truth. Some people were born and then they will die. That's life. That's what it is. If you are born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it is your fault. It's your fault. And especially living in a country like South Africa, do you know that this is the only country after one of the Asian countries where success for the indigenous people is legislated? Do you know that? You've got the law that says we have to make people in this country successful, and some people don't see it. What is your positioning? What is your brand? How do you package your brand and how do you take it to market? It's as simple as that. And branding, ladies and gentlemen, is about perception management, how you manage the way people perceive you. It's as simple as that. Branding has very little to do with physical benefits. Why people drive BMW? Because it has been positioned that way. You understand what I'm trying to say? Why people wear certain clothes like Nike? Because there's a positioning around Nike. Why people wear Levi? Because there's a positioning around Levi. So the question becomes, what is your positioning for your business? Are you just one of the businesses? You know, ma'am, you stay in the Vaal, yes? You stay in Midrand. So if I go to the Midrand business chamber and I found a list of 10 catering companies, why should I choose you? You're struggling. That's positioning, ladies and gentlemen. But positioning happens over time. Never make that mistake. It still goes back to the 10,000 rule. Positioning happens over experience, time, getting a coach, doing the right kind of things. I have positioned myself to be the things that you guys had because over time I've been doing this for 18 years. I'm still learning. I still have a couple of coaches. I still sit and be criticized that you were too fast, you were too slow, you didn't engage with the audience, take a bit, want to give. I still learn all these techniques. Why? Because I want to position myself at the top of my game. And quite honestly, officially, I'm the number one in the continent. There is no speaker in the not in South Africa, in the continent. That officially has the designations that I have. Officially. Google it, check it, validate it, it is there. But it took 18 years and the journey still continues. It's not the end, the journey still continues. So the fourth P talks about positioning. And the last P talks about perseverance. You've got to run your race fully. And here's the deal, you are going to fall. Nothing gained without any pain is worth having. I'm going to say this slowly. Nothing gained without any pain is worth having. You are going to fail. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, many times. But perseverance becomes your greatest tool to success. Many people, ladies and gentlemen, that today are running multi-billion-dollar businesses that are superstars, they went through pain. It takes 20 years to be an overnight success. That's how long it takes. Overnight success. Go behind the scene and find out where they come from. You'll be surprised of the pain they went through. You know, Sylvester Stallone. You know Sylvester Stallone. Do you know what that man went through before he became a top actor? He even had to sell his dog. I'm telling you, think it's a joke. Go and check his story out. He had this dog. It was him and this dog and nobody else. He had written this movie, Rocky. He went to the studios and said, I've got a movie, but I have to act in this movie. They said, you cannot even talk. What makes you think you're going to act in this movie? Sandra said, here's $25,000. Give us the script. He says, no. And he sold his dog. And when things turned out for him, he went and bought back the dog for much more than he sold it for. You guys think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But if you've got your heart in the right place and you surround yourself with the right kind of people, when things become tough, your team will uplift you. That's why you've got to hang around the right kind of people. That's why you've got to become the person that builds high-value relationships. You know Eric builds high-value relationships. I'm not supposed to be here. Actually, he knows. I'm supposed to be charging him the money that it costs to put all of this together. It's true. You think it's a joke. It's true. But I didn't. Why? Because he builds high-value relationships. The first time I met him, he didn't say, do this for me. He said, what can I do for you? He wanted to serve me. That's what you do when you build high-value relationship. Don't go asking all the time. Give first before you get. You guys think, you must teach me how to speak. I'm not. Why should I teach you how to speak? Why should I? If I tell you how much money I spend on my own personal development every year, you'll fall off the chair. If I tell you who I go and serve, there are speakers who want to learn from me, and there are those that I want to learn from them. And sometimes I say to them, listen, I'm going to come and spend a week with you. Do your thing, I want to come and learn. And then later on, I'll teach you some of my stuff. That's what you do if you want to get to the top of your game. That's what you do. You travel and cross seas and mountains and rivers and valleys to go and find wisdom from men and women of wisdom. That's what great businesses do, ladies and gentlemen. This country, we're at the brink of success or absolute catastrophe. I'm just telling you the truth. We are skating on very, very thin ice. And people in this room, you are the collective that can change the course of this country. But stop looking for quick wins. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You understand? Stop searching for quick things that you want to drive the next BMW tomorrow. It's not going to happen. But if we go out and ask ourselves these 5 very simple, profound questions. Is my business driven by a purpose? Am I passionate about it? Am I willing to practice and learn from others? Am I positioning myself very well? And lastly, am I willing to really struggle before I get to the top of my game? And if you are following these 5, I can guarantee you 10 years from now, you'll stand in a room 100 times the size of this room and share your story and teach people principles that will enrich them for life. And all I can say is this journey is a beautiful journey, only if you do it for the right reasons. And if you do it for the right reasons, when the reward comes, and I usually say to people, be careful that one day when you become successful, don't let your wallet be bigger than your head. Never, ever. Because understand, more is asked from those that more is given of. But anyway, as much as should be given, it can also be taken away. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.